Welcome back to another week. This week I'm spending the entire time behind the wheel of this 2024 Volkswagen Golf R, and it's the 6-speed manual transmission version. I believe the last one of its kind. They're gonna, they're not necessarily gonna kill the Golf R, but they are probably going to kill the manual transmission. So good to have it one last time. I did have it in 2023. It was in the winter, but it was the DSG. So now I'm getting a different experience. Now we got this nice blue color here. We've got this light bar that connects itself, the R, which is really nice. We had all this last year, just the color is different. There's not so much differences. I haven't really got over and looked at the old video yet to really tell you for sure what's different and what's not. But the side profile, I call the side profile compact but effective. I really enjoy the side profile of this thing. It looks very clean, especially in this blue. We've even got, check this out, we've even got blue painted brakes there with the R logo. You can kind of see it right there. R logo right there. I like these kind of chromed out, or like these metallic kind of side mirrors here, which look pretty cool. Check out the back quickly. We've got the quad exhausts that don't sound that bad. I'll try to give you some revs here as we go through the week. I'll show it to you that way as well. Pretty cool R badge, front, rear and center. You can say front and center though, either way. We've got a standard backup camera. Parking sensors are pretty good too. This is how you're gonna open this guy. A little rear wing here too, which is pretty nice as well. Not too bad. Decent amount of space in the trunk here. We've got this kind of privacy screen. This should fit my baby stroller. That's going to be interesting this week. A little bit of storage there underneath the floor, but not too much, but still effective for a kind of compact daily driver that has, packs a little bit of a punch. So let's put the GoPro up and let's show you this thing. Okay, so sitting now inside the Golf R. Not a lot has changed from what I can tell, other than like the manual transmission. So I've now got a gear shifter or a gear selector, whatever you want to call it. So that's really the only huge change that I noticed. I've got like these carbon fiber, kind of faux carbon fiber seats here that look pretty decent. The exhaust sounds pretty cool. I'm actually in like the mode called Nürburgring, which kind of makes things a little crazy, which I like. So let's see what we got out of that. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, yeah, okay. Woo! Look, I'm no pro at manual driving, especially when there's no assist. There's no like rev match downshifting here, nothing like that. But when I tell you that this thing can rip, it rips. And I'm not like even, like I said, I'm not even experienced really that much at manual driving. I'm good enough to get it going and stuff like that. But whoa, that's a pretty long and powerful second gear. You can really get up to speed in it. Yeah, it's a fun thing to drive. It's a fun little go-kart, and I like how the steering stiffens up, throttle response, clutch response, it's all there. It's all man, this thing just handles like an absolute demon. I love the steering feel. I love the steering feedback that I get from this thing too. It feels really good, and also it's just comfortable. The seats are really comfortable. The ride quality is really comfortable. I'm not uncomfortable at all, and this is like a sporty hot hatch, so a little bit of discomfort is expected. But when I throw this thing in comfort mode, or I use my individual mode and I put the suspension in comfort mode, I'm just cruising, absolutely no problem cruising. And I think that's a huge plus for just daily driver ability. And also, this is 4-wheel drive, so again, another one of these vehicles where we're not going to have to park it in the winter. I've also got adaptive cruise control. I've got lane keep assist. I've got all my assist settings here that you could ever want from just a normal car. And like I said, last year I drove the DSG. That was quick too. This feels as fast. I really don't feel cheated or anything. I think this is really going to depend on how fast can you shift it. That's the closest you're going to get to the DSG. I think the DSG though has a little bit more torque, but I think it's something like 13 more torque or something like that, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things, especially when you have something fun. But what I want to talk about though is the actual transmission. The pedal box is fine. I actually really enjoy the pedal box. A very low engagement point, so you pretty much lift your foot off the clutch and it's already wanting to go. So that's good news, especially for beginners. The only thing is the shifter is weird. It's this huge kind of as if a manual car. I feel like I could almost press a button here, and I feel like that's what they want me to do almost. It's very big. which is, I guess, something easy to customize, but it's really big, and the throws are a little bit longer than something that's like this. Like, you know, usually the sporty or kind of manual transmission that I drive, they don't have that long throws, so it's a little long, but not like, it doesn't bother me that much, like, especially because I'm not taking this thing to the track. I'm also not experienced with manual driver, so, you know, it's not like a huge setback. Definitely wouldn't keep me from buying the car. I'm able to shift quickly into the gear that I need. I'm also able to rev match pretty easy. The throttle response is very easy. Like, I'm able to kick, you know, the accelerator pedal before slowing down. So that is nice too. Sometimes too much, sometimes too little, though. It is one of those things where you're going to get better at manual driving if you do drive one of these, because it kind of forces you to do everything by yourself, right? That second gear is pretty powerful. I could get up to like maybe more than 60 km. It's pretty good. I've also even got a heads-up display, which is cool. Harman Kardon sound system, you know, not a very interesting interior in terms of different colors that are in front of my face. They are behind me on the seat, but nothing crazy behind, you know, in front of me here. But still, I think it's cool. I think it's solid. I think it's going to be a cool week, so I can't wait to show you everything. Kind of, we'll go over, if I do find any cool changes, we'll go over those as well. And yeah, I'll pick it back up later. All right, so I'm just sitting inside the Golf R right now, so I figure I will take you through it quickly here. Not a lot of changes from, say, 2023 when I had it last year. The biggest difference here is the manual, but still really nice. I still got this really nice steering wheel. I like the R with the kind of blue accents right there, blue stitching throughout here, very nice. I've got my, you know, some of my gauge cluster controls here, which I can change the view from. I'll show you that in a second. Heated steering button. And then I've got more media controls over here. That's one thing that I would have liked to see, is just have the media controls in one spot. I've got the R button, which is basically, you know, giving me my R mode. So basically pops the car directly into race mode. Right now I'm in custom. I drive around in custom. I'll show you that too. But there is our digital gauge cluster. You can customize everything and anything. Pretty much, you know, you can have anything on the left, on the right, but I like to keep it with, this is my favorite screen right here, with the tack in the middle, with my speed, my fuel economy on the right, and then on the left, we've got the gear that I'm in. It's helpful for, you know, beginner manual drivers. You want to see what gear you're in, so I like that, but I'll take you through some of the views. So next is going to be, this is the race mode view. So usually when you press the R button, that's the view you're going to get. You can start a lap timer, different stuff like that. Then we have kind of like the kind of normal view, we'll say. And then if we keep going, we've got like a navigation view. The built-in navigation is pretty good there. This is kind of like a calm, kind of assisted driving view here. Some more calm view there, and then we're back to the other one. So pretty easy to understand and use that. I like that. No physical buttons, really hardly any physical buttons in this car. So if you're a buttons person, maybe you're not going to enjoy it. So these are my lighting controls right there. I can kind of click the mode button to get it. And then I also have the max control buttons. Physical buttons, though, for the window controls and different stuff like that. So that's all set up nicely. We move over to our infotainment display. Again, same as 2023, pretty much same software. It feels quick, which is good. You know, everything's well laid out here. There's a couple of things that are buried like inside the infotainment here. Like, so if I go exterior to turn off traction control or ESC, you've got to go through that. So it's kind of buried a little bit. Really good ambient lighting for a car at this price point. Decent. Didn't expect to see it. You can kind of choose your color, or you can just choose from one of the presets they have. It's very nice. Heated seats, ventilated seats, really good. I have driven some higher end cars that only have the heated seats, and it doesn't make sense. Volkswagen, though, you've got both, so that's very nice. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, no problem there. Then we've got a wireless charging pad right here, USB-C only, which I like to connect my phone with the cable, so that's always there. Engine start stop, and then we have our 6-speed manual transmission shifter right here. Really easy to use and understand. It's, you know, first, second, third, fourth. It's long throws, I will say that. And then you can also, you have this rear lockout kind of thing where it's like a push and, you know, slide. But all good. I do like the design here. This, I'm sure the shifter can be like modified to be a little bit smaller because it's a bit big to hold. You know, you get a good grip on it though, so that's good news. And then I've got a parking brake electronically here, kind of like these interesting cup holders that kind of fold in, come out kind of thing. A very limited amount of storage in there, but it does get the job done. And then I've got kind of quick access buttons over here. You've got your parking menu, your drive modes, where this is where you're going to customize your stuff. So you can customize everything from the steering, drivetrain, engine sound, the ACC, and the light assist is all there. But also you can have different kind of modes there that you want. You can do whatever you want, comfort, sport, whatever, and you can change the suspension. But if I do race, it unlocks a drift mode and unlocks a special mode as well, which is the Nürburgring mode, which is everything super aggressive, which is cool. But again, saw that last year with the automatic. So like I said, biggest change is going to be right here. But I still do love these seats. These seats are still one of the best in the game. I like it. It's like a, it's a leather kind of synthetic feel. Got like faux carbon fiber. Love the blue stitching. Such a huge fan of that. And I like the R badge right in the middle. And we do get a little sunroof here, so really hard to complain about it. It is like it's not very like an eye-catching interior unless you go at night or like in the evening when the ambient lighting is turned on. You got the two-tone kind of thing. Then it kind of livens up a little bit. But like this material is very like soft and stuff like that, so it doesn't stand out that much. But honestly, the driving is where it's at. So that's pretty. It's not a bad thing, If your interior is a little boring, the driving better make up for it. In the case of the Volkswagen, it does. All right, so back in the sunset right now. I've got both my cameras set up because I want to talk to you a little bit more about the driving after I've had, roughly 4 days at this point. I have a shortened week, so we're losing that 7th day that I usually get. So let me actually throw this into race mode and then put it into Nürburgring mode, which I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but that gives me a little bit more of an exhaust note. It's kind of the Golf R's most aggressive mode, if you will. So this should be very interesting to show you. I've driven in it a few times. It makes the exhaust very, very loud. That's kind of like the most notable thing. And also the throttle response is quite good there too. First gear is quite powerful. Second gear, quite powerful. Yeah, this car definitely does have a lot of power despite what it looks like. It doesn't look like something that would be, crazy fast, but it actually is quite quick off the line, quite quick just in general. And I think like people that own a Golf GTI and you want to upgrade to this thing, you won't be disappointed by the upgrade, because this packs one hell of a little punch. It'll punch you right in your mouth if you're not careful. But it's really good handling wise. Like I'll kind of try to show you that too. And yeah, it's just super fun to rag around town here. Nice exhaust, little exhaust burbles and pops. Very subtle but very nicely controlled. No rev match downshifting. So what you're hearing is me doing it by myself. I'm an amateur at best. I am terrible at heel toe. I rarely ever even attempt to do it. I usually just hit the throttle before I clutch out. Let's get some visor going in here. Yeah, first gear is quite short, but still got enough power. And then second gear, that's where all your power is coming from. And of course, third gear, you can kind of stay in the high rev range the entire time and kind of rev it out quite a lot. So it does let you get very close to rev limiter before you get to lights and everything. So I've got a 7,000 RPM rev limit, so that's pretty decent as well. And it's just a decent cruiser like here. Like I'm at kind of highway speeds now, shift up into 5th, everything kind of calms down. Then you can go into 6th for your ultimate highway driving. I've got lane keep assist, I've got adaptive cruise control, and everything that you would want out of like a normal kind of practical vehicle. So it's good news too that the Golf R can also be used practically, if that makes sense. Like, so it's got all-wheel drive, so I can drive it all year round, and I can take it on long road trips because it does have the adaptive cruise. It's probably one of my favorite things about vehicles like this one is, the fact that I can have fun, I can have all the handling and all the power, but I can also just throw it into comfort mode, and the adaptive suspension does really well. Like this has a very, very comfortable ride quality for what it is. I'd say, I haven't driven the Type R yet, but from the things that I've seen so far, I'd say it maybe is rivaling the Type R's kind of quality in terms of ride quality. I think it might actually be better. So that's interesting to note, especially because the price points there are quite different. And what makes this cool as well is I don't actually have to park this thing in the winter. Like I can have the fun all year round. Like let's say it's a nice day out in the winter. Usually in Quebec it never is, but let's say that is the case. well, then I can, put it in race mode and give it a couple of beams and still have fun. Because I've got the all-wheel drive, it decides to snow really heavily. I've got comfort mode, so I don't need my sport mode. I don't need my crazy car in the winter, but I also don't have to buy a winter beater. I can keep the same car all year round. Now, as for how the transmission is going to perform in cold weather, couldn't tell you. I haven't driven it. I've only driven the DSG, which I didn't notice any issues in the winter with. And honestly, I did drive the Golf in the winter non-manual, and it was perfectly fine. Like, it rained, it snowed, it was cold, and it was completely normal. Like, it drove like a normal car. And like I said, when it was dry, I was able to gun it in the DSG, which has, I think, a little bit more torque. I think the horsepower is the same, the torque is a little bit different. There is a little bit of road noise here, not a ton, not enough to bother me. Like, I've been in some cars where it definitely would bother me a lot, like the road noise, but here it's not that bad. I feel like other people have said that it was worse, so going into it, I was expecting it to be a lot worse, but it's actually pretty quiet. Like, it's really hard to complain about the noise, because you don't want to have too much noise isolation in a car like this, because then you can't hear the cool exhaust banging and popping in the back of you. So then what's the point of that? This thing pulls in second gear, let me tell you. It's a very, very nice transmission as well. Long throws though, like I said in the beginning, but the clutch, the pedal box is very easy to use. It works with you, even if you're kind of a beginner. Like, I don't always nail my downshift rev match. It kind of, lives with me. It doesn't jerk me around that much. So I'm very happy with what we've got here. Welcome back outside with the Golf R. Me in front of the camera. I have my tripod set up and all my mics. I figured let's record something for the week with a little bit more relaxed, but still wanted to talk about it. I mean, it looks really cool in the current lighting. The blue's really standing out. I want to tell you what's under the hood. I think a lot of people, when they watch these, they're kind of missing that, and you think it's a review, but it's really just me going through it. But anyways, I'll tell you what the numbers are. So we're dealing with a 4-cylinder, 2-liter TSI engine, 315 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. I believe the DSG has a little bit more, but honestly, the manual's more fun, so I'd go with it. Like I said, 6-speed manual transmission, 4-motion all-wheel drive. You don't got to park this thing in the winter. It's one of my favorite things about it is the fact that it comes so compact and also comes all-wheel drive. Hard to find. As tested price, you're looking at $50,145 Canadian. All right, so driving the Golf R one last time, at least on camera. I'm going to drop it off later today. But yeah, kind of want to get some final thoughts off here, because my week has been like shorter, right? Because I had I had to keep one vehicle a little longer because of the long weekend. Good old Labor Day. So, which is okay, because I drove this car last year and it was really, not a lot different from 23 to 24. So if you want to get a 23 and save yourself a couple of bucks, you're probably going to not miss much. Honestly, like, there really isn't that big of a difference. Like I said, the Volkswagen logo is now blacked out. It's the new one. And I think in the 23, you still have the old one on the steering wheel. That's it. Oh my goodness. So I don't know. Is the money that it went up worth the price? I don't know. I think get a 23 in 24, 25, and also get a manual transmission while you still can, because they're killing it as of 2025. Not the Golf R, just the manual transmission. But the DSG is fun too, right? Like, I had a blast in the winter with the DSG. It's quick. Its shift is really, really fast. I found the transmission there really good. I find the manual transmission really good. Like, it's a longer throw. It's like, doesn't feel that sporty, but the pedal box is really good. The clutch is nice and responsive. I really haven't even come close to it. The car hasn't really complained with the things that I've done. So yeah, like, it's been nice to own and use, and like, it hasn't been too much of a pain in traffic. I'm about to go drive it in some traffic right now. So, but it's not too bad. Usually you can roll in like first or second gear, and it's not going to complain at you, or you're not going to use that much gas doing that. So it's okay. You're just, clutching in, clutching out a lot. But if the clutch is nice and responsive, that usually isn't going to be a huge issue. So that's good. You don't really hear the exhaust note all that much though. Like, it's really, it's hard to get it to pop and bang. It will do it, right? But you really need to kind of force it almost. Like, see there, it's doing it a little bit, but it's not that loud. You know, I feel like a lot of people that are going to buy this car are going to kind of delete the exhaust, if you will. You know, they're going to do something to make this thing very loud, because I think it does have the potential to be very loud, but for some reason Volkswagen put like a cap on it. I don't know. I just feel like it wants to output a lot more noise than it is, and I feel like some of the modders here could probably bring a lot of the sound out. But still, looks really good. Plenty of room, 4-wheel drive. I'm not parking this thing when the snow falls. I'm not parking this thing in general, and I can have fun all year round. And like, if I'm looking for, like, if I live in a big city, say you live somewhere like, for example, my city, downtown Montreal. I don't live downtown, would never even dream of it. But say you still want to own a vehicle because you drive around a lot for work, whatever it is, and you still want to have fun at all times of the year, but want to fit in some small parking spaces, parking garages, you name it. Well, the Golf R is kind of perfect for that. It's nice and compact, but it also packs the punch. So yeah, I really enjoy it. You see like just little rip on the highway there. It definitely gets up to highway speeds, no issue. Maintains the highway speed, no issue. Put it into 5th, 6th. You kind of got your cruisers, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. The works, literally the works on this thing. So yeah, it's hard to find things bad to say about it. Obviously, the capacitive touch buttons are not fun to use, and that's pretty much the worst of it, right? Like, it could be worse. If you want the touch button, if you don't like the touch buttons, you're not going to be happy with this. If you want more buttons, you're going to be happy with this. But if you can get over that, if you can look past it, it's a really solid, fun to drive vehicle. It's a fun weekend drive. It's a fun grocery getter. I like it. I liked it last year. I like it again this year, and I can't wait to see what they do with the platform and where they go with it. I think there's a lot to be said about it. So we'll see where they go in 2025 with no manual transmission included. So with that being said, make sure you subscribe. If you found this video helpful at all, you got to give me a sub, you got to leave a like, and also leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've owned the Golf R of any generation for long term, tell us, because I can't speak to that. Make sure you turn on the bell notifications. I've got a bunch of new vehicles every single week that you can check out here on the channel, and you're not going to want to miss any of it. With that being said, I'll see you next week. See you in the next car. Take care.